My name's Deborah Wesley, and I am a library associate at the Covington branch of the Kenton County Public Library in the local history and genealogy department. Today, I'm going to do a presentation, a PowerPoint presentation on winter holiday nostalgia. So bear with me while I pull it up here. All right, so first of all, whatever you celebrate this time of year, whatever your spirituality is, my hope in this talk is to bring you and your family and loved ones some joy to this winter season holiday, especially among the situation we're under. And winter solstice is a time when the days are half dark and half light, and that was the ancients celebrated that. That's December 21st, by the way. Also, in this talk, I want to let you stroll down memory lane and remember, especially of the Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati regional area. I have pictures from past holidays and use it as a way to share with your elders and intergenerational to capture memories and stories of the past with them. I also hope to I want to share with you in this talk some resources from our Kenton County Public Library that are for the holiday season that you can check out. You can put on hold on your computer and come and pick it up. We have drop off and pick up right now. So these are a few of the resources that I used for this talk. And one of the main ones I'll be mentioning often is our Faces and Places local history genealogy database. It's a collection of pictures that we have been given to us and from the Kentucky Post newspaper and other places. And then some of our books in our collections, the Images of America, and other resources here and online resources I used. So when I think back on my childhood around the holidays, music was a large part of it for our family. I like the ad on the right that shows the old TV sets. General Electric ad. The whole family will love this gift. It shows how back in the day, there was one TV set everybody got around, and during the time of the holidays, there were often these holiday Christmas shows of different people. And the one I remember distinctly is the Andy Williams show and his family, and he would sing and have skits, and it was very joyful. There were other family music specials like Bob Hope, Dean Martin, Ruth Lyons, and I'll speak about her further in the talk. And did you know that Andy Williams lived in Western Hills in Cincinnati for some time? Also around this time of year, family movies, the classics. One of the classics that I love is Miracle on 34th Street with where it's the Macy's Day Parade. It starts out. And the other one I love is Jimmy Stewart and Donna Reed and It's a Wonderful Life. And Jimmy Stewart has an angel who helps him remember the meaning of the holidays named Clarence, who I enjoy watching every year. And I hope you do with your family too. Other classic family movies that you can watch during this time of year are The Bells of St. Mary's with Bing Crosby and Ingrid Bergman. He's a Catholic priest. George C. Scott, A Christmas Carol, with the Scrooge, basically. And one of my favorites is The Bishop's Wife. I discovered a few years back. It's an old Cary Grant movie where he's an angel named Dudley, and he helps this young couple rediscover the meaning of Christmas. Also, other holiday music. I wanted to share this old radio. People back in the day didn't have TVs. They listened to radio often in radio programs. But we have this, we have the Sinatra, Merry Christmas from Sinatra and Crosby DVD. An old movie is in our collection. You can check out and watch. Christmas song, Nat King Cole. I love his old music. There's another Bing Crosby music, and there's a whole bunch of others that we have. You can check out in our Kent County Library catalog that you can listen to this time of year and share with the grandkids and kids and family. I mentioned her earlier, Ruth Lyons. She is a local. I don't know if anybody remembers her. Ruth Lyons was born Ruth Evelyn Reeves in 1905 on Eastern Avenue in Cincinnati. She attended East High School, which was later called Withrow. In 1922, Crosley Broadcasting and WLW were founded. Ruth eventually entered radio and then eventually television. And she had, starting in radio, her 50/50 Club show. And it began with 50 women in the audience, is why it was called that. And I'm going to talk later. In 1939, she started her Ruth Lyons Children's Christmas Fund. That the show was on every year. People watched in the area, and it was to ensure every child in the hospital would get a toy at Christmas. We have a wonderful biography on her in our collection called Oprah, Ruth Lyons, the woman who created talk TV. And I love the album on the right. My mom actually has this album still, and there's a lovely gentleman sitting next to Ruth Lyons in the center. His name is Bob Braun. Some people may remember. He's a Ludlow native. And then around this time of year, everybody wants a good old movie to watch is White Christmas, a musical with Bing Crosby and Danny Kaye, Rosemary Clooney, and Vera-Ellen. Both Rosemary Clooney and Vera-Ellen are local area gals. Rosemary Clooney was born in Maysville, Kentucky, and Vera-Ellen Weistmeyer Rowe was born in Norwood, Ohio. We have several biographies in our collection on Rosemary Clooney. So, of course, when TV came around, there were many family shows, and there's some old ones and some new ones. The one on the top left, some of you may recognize as Sam the Snowman, Burl Ives. Excuse me. And it was started, Rudolph, the Red-Nosed Reindeer, in 1964 was the first animation. It was originally conceived in 1939 in a booklet sold at Montgomery Ward stores. And then Frosty on the bottom left, the Snowman, a TV version, first appeared in 1969 on TV, though it was first thought of in 1950. And the Grinch, up in the right-hand corner, first aired in 1966, and it was created from a Dr. Seuss book. And of course, on the bottom right, many remember Charles M. Schulz's creation, Peanuts Christmas. And I recently heard that they're going to broadcast that on PBS this year for people to see. Did you know that Santa Claus is Coming to Town, the song, was written by a local Covington man named Haven Gillespie? Haven Gillespie was born in 1888 in Covington and was a composer of music, creating over 1,000 original pieces, with his Santa Claus piece most profitable and famous. He wrote it in 1933 in a New York subway on the back of an envelope. He lived on Montgomery Street in Covington in a home he called the White Mansion. He died in 1975, and there is a historical marker in Covington honoring his accomplishments. We have several biographies on Mr. Gillespie in our collection, and we also are blessed to have the original composition of Santa Claus is Coming to Town in our archives. As a kid, I loved making crafts, and this is a wonderful time of year to get together with your kids and your grandkids and family and do craft projects. Some of the ones that I remember are making popcorn chains and putting cranberries on them. I recently saw you can use Fruit Loops and hang on them to add some color. Um, you can hang them on the tree on the inside and then take them out after the holidays and put some peanut butter on them, and the birds and the squirrels will appreciate it during the cold months. And then the paper chains we always made in school, and you write numbers 25 days down to Christmas, the countdown, and it gives kids a sense of time to when the big guy in the red suit will show up. Of course, snowflakes. Making paper snowflakes is always magical with children. And then on the right are decorations for outside. You can hang out, get some pine cones and put peanut butter on them, and then dip them in birdseed and use it as a time with your family to watch nature during the holiday season and help out the animals. So in the past, before the internet, email, social media, Facebook, people sent ornate postcards and cards to one another, often with handwritten notes on them, and then they hung them on their trees as ornaments. The first commercial greeting cards were introduced in 1843 by John Horsley in London. Some folks even made their own cards, and I highly recommend doing this, recycling magazines and old calendars and construction paper and getting together with your kids and creating things to make memories. A modern day card exchange that I participate in is with a Facebook group with my dachshund and other dachshund owners, and we have an international card exchange. We take pictures and exchange them internationally. It's really exciting. We've done it the last 3 years, and it's always fun to do. Local attractions of the area. One of my favorites is Khron's Conservatory over in Cincinnati. I love to go there during the holiday season and have ever since I was little. I love the poinsettia tree they make, the really tall poinsettia tree. And Khron's has been around and doing and they have a nativity scene, a live nativity scene with animals they've been doing over 75 years. They have model trains among creative models of Cincinnati landmarks and wonderful, gorgeous holiday flowers and plant displays. The picture on the right is C&G's gas and electric company's holiday trains display from the 1950s in Cincinnati. This was always a favorite among kids and adults to go down and look at. Now, these days, you can go down to the Cincinnati Museum Center and see that the Duke Energy always puts up a train display and talk about, if you remember this, what this was like compared to the Duke Energy with your kids and grandkids. Other local attractions. So I remember as a kid, our family would visit a place called Santa Claus Land, Indiana. And it's not far, but they celebrate Santa Claus all year round. They have you can visit Santa. They have shops. There's a amusement park. So go check that out sometime. Even not during this time of year. Maybe when it's warmer, go check it out. Also, we have in our area the wonderful light display at the Cincinnati Zoo, the Festival of Lights that is going on currently. And in Coney Island, they have a drive-through in your car lights that is wonderful to go to. And if you go to Coney then and you remember going there as a kid, as my mom did, she always shares memories. Ask your elders if they remember the old Coney Island. Shopping locally. As a kid, I remember riding the bus from Northern Kentucky down into Cincinnati and walking around downtown and looking at the windows. They had them decorated with mechanical displays of elves and Santa, some of you may remember. And Shillitoe's had other things for kids to do there. I remember the picture. So that's the picture on the left. And then the picture on the right is of Coppins, a store in Covington in 1977 during the Christmas busy shopping season. So some of you may remember that. So share these memories with the young. And if you're young, then ask the elders what did they do around the holidays. And also more shopping locally. Mabley and Carew was another often visited during the holidays store this time of year over in Cincinnati. And then the picture on the right is Kaufman's department store in downtown Cincinnati during the holidays. People didn't have Amazon back then. They had to go to the store and buy things. And then also during the Christmas season, it was time to get out the baking. I had a stay-at-home mom. I was fortunate, and we did a lot of baking around the holiday and to give us gifts. But it was just darn fun. So I remember making the cookies on the top and the icing and coloring with food coloring, like the ad. I love this ad by McCormick and Schilling on the right. That all these wonderful, colorful cookies. And the gingerbread men, of course, was always a favorite. We're blessed to have Schneider's still in Bellvue, Kentucky, a wonderful old-fashioned candy store I recommend checking out. And more baking and sweets. I like the old ad on the left. Some of you may remember Crisco, a can of Crisco they used for in making all kinds of sweets. And the candy on the top right is called ribbon candy. It's a really old-fashioned candy. I remember my great-grandma, she always had it when you went in her house, and she gave it to you for Christmas in a can. And we always loved to make ourselves peanut brittle. So that's another activity that you can do with your kids and grandkids, is try and make some peanut brittle this year. Of course, no holiday is right without a tree if you can get one. And in bygone years, families who wanted to bring a Yule log or a tree into their homes went out to find one and cut it themselves. We have some we had some local tree farms. One was called Dixie Pines and Reeves Farm. So the picture on the left is from our Faces and Places database. It's a local family and a little girl dragging her tree, helping drag her tree with her dad. The picture on the right, after, when people moved more in the cities, then the Christmas tree farmers brought the trees to the people in the city and had tree lots. And the picture on the right is a tree lot in Newport, Johnny Pelosi's tree lot. Some may remember from us that grew up in Northern Kentucky. Of course, once you get the tree in, you decorate it. And this is a local couple on the left, probably around the 50s from our Faces and Places database. And before they had electric lights mass produced, uh, people, used glass ornaments and the icicles, the aluminum icicles that hang from the tree. And I spoke with one of our elder patrons in her 90s, and she was sharing that when she was young, they, like the picture on the right, lit up their tree with candles. So they would get up and go into the where the tree was in the parlor, and light. Her uncle would light the candles, and they would open presents and get their stockings, and then they would blow the candles out and go into the kitchen where it was warmer and spend the rest of the day eating. Um, Also, after World War II, when aluminum was more prevalent, people had aluminum Christmas trees with color wheels. We used to have one of those, actually. And of course, people, in modern day, we decorate now that Christmas lights you can buy at the stores easily. They're more easy and more affordable. People decorate their houses. This is a picture on the left of a home in Florence, Kentucky, all decked out. Um, and the ad on the right is a General Electric ad of when colored light bulbs started being mass produced that you could use. And these two pictures are also from our Faces and Places database, decorating around the town. This is different places in Covington, Kentucky. I love looking at the old cars and the pictures in the database, and how times have changed. And the gentleman on the right is sweeping his steps so people can come to his shop. And generally, not this year, of course, but parades, small town parades would pop up around this time of year. And so the picture up on the left is 1991. It's later, from our database, Burlington, Kentucky's fourth annual hometown Christmas parade, with Santa being pulled in a carriage. On the top right is a picture of the north side of Pike Street, looking west toward Washington Street in 1986. So it's a newer picture, but it shows you how holidays in the past, the towns decorate it. And on the bottom right is the parade with Santa coming in a horse-drawn carriage, and that's from 1982, in a local town. Once you eat all that food, you got to go out and work some of the calories off. So some of the outdoor fun that people have in the area, people will remember sledding or tubing whenever we have a big snowfall in Bellvue Park. Of course, if you go farther back, on the picture on the left is the Cincinnati streets. This is children sledding down 15th Street before there were many cars. The steep Cincinnati streets made for fine sledding. And that picture is from a book we have in our collection called The Cincinnati's Golden Age. I love the picture in the middle. It's Ralphie from a classic movie I recommend, A Christmas Story. Many of you may have seen. It shows the attire we wore back in the day. And the picture on the right is a vintage ad for sleds that many children dreamed about that Santa would bring and put under their tree in the morning. So also, the common occurrence is to hang your stockings. and dreaming about what Santa would bring. So that one of the elders told me, an elder patron said that this was way back in the 20s, 30s, that when they hung their stockings, they would get an apple, an orange, a walnut, and a peppermint stick in their stocking. And that was a big deal. The kid on the right, and the roadmaster, he's dreaming of this wonderful bicycle. And I've seen many ads for Schwinn bikes also, of kids dreaming. So a resource you can do online is to look for vintage ads, and you can show your grandparents and spark their memories, to have conversations, to record what it was like when they grew up. And other toys are Lionel trains were big back in the day, especially little boys always wanted train sets. And I remember train sets being set up around trees, Christmas trees. My dad always set them up. He worked on the railroad for a while, so. And the picture on the left is an easy bake oven, which I had as a kid. I wonder did you know that Kenner, the toy company, was founded in 1946 in Cincinnati, Ohio. It was founded by brothers Albert, Philip, and Joseph L. Steiner. The company was named after the street where the original corporate offices were located, just north of Cincinnati Union Terminal. Kenner made easy bake ovens, spirographs, among many other toys, and later made action figures like the original series of Star Wars, Jurassic Park, and Batman. And anybody who lives in Northern Kentucky remembers Johnny's Toy Store in Latonia, the picture on the left. It's from a book we have, the collection of images in America, Latonia. We have it in our collection also. This is the front of Johnny's Toy Store. And anyone who grew up here remembers waiting at their birthday to get a key in the mail that would unlock the castle door, and you got a birthday gift. And the picture on the right are some interesting retro old toys that I remember as a kid. Maybe you do. Santa visits. Santa. These are 3 pictures, also from our Faces and Places collection, and the one on the left is Santa visits Arnett Elementary School, and this is in the early 80s, 1982. The upper right-hand picture is a 1967 picture of a little girl who's having her picture made sitting on Santa's lap. And the bottom picture on the right, finally, are 2 kids checking out at school the Ho 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 countdown days to go until Christmas board at 4th Street School. And here's some additional pictures that we have. Santa visits and sightings. Santa appeared on a bus, driving the bus in Covington one year and giving out candy canes to the riders. I love that picture. And the picture on the right is Santa went to visit the Northern Kentucky Citizens Senior Center one year. The bottom, that Santa even loves doggy kisses. And, with all going on this year, 2020, it's nice to remember and help those less fortunate. And in the past, in the area, we had many groups, as we do now. But the one I remember nostalgically is Ruth Lyons Children's Christmas Fund. As I mentioned before, she's grew up in Cincinnati, and had a radio show and a talk show, and many, many people remember her and all the good work she did. Her Ruth Lyons Children's Christmas Fund began in 1939, and it began to make sure that every child in the hospital had a toy. And it raised millions of dollars for that cause. The picture in the middle, you might recognize Nick Clooney in the center, helping out Salvation Army. And they're always an important organization to help support during this time of year to help others. And I love the ad I found with the Lone Ranger and Tonto, an old advertisement for Christmas seals, which was to fight tuberculosis. They were ways to raise money to help others. So finally, I'm coming to the end of my talk, and I just want to mention some of our Kenton County Public Library holiday resources you can reach out and obtain. We have various holiday books, especially we have a lot of Christmas children's books you can check out. You can put them on hold while our library, when it's shut down, you can put them on hold and pick them up. You can check out through our website, use your Kenton County Library card. We have DVDs of music, CD music, holiday music. We have DVDs. Like I said, that Frank Sinatra show I know is one in our collection you can check out. And another lesser known resource is our digital library. We have one, especially I want to mention, is Hoopla. It has more than 300 holiday resources of movies and music that you can you set up an account free using your library card, and you can there's just you can check out movies and music from there and watch it on your computer with your family. If you need any help, of course, just give us a call and we'll walk you through it. And lastly, I wanted to mention some of our department, our local history and genealogy resources. We have various kinds of how-to books, genealogy, Irish, German, Native American. We have many books you can check out and work on your family tree over the holidays. We have lots of online databases that you can access from free at home using your library card. And a wonderful resource we have that normally you have to come to the library to use, Ancestry.com. You can, if you have a library card, you can log on through our website and through March 31st, 2021. Normally that's a paid database, but you can use it now through March 31st free. We have many searchable newspaper databases, many back to the 1800s, Cincinnati Enquirer, Kentucky Post, Chicago Defender, Northern Kentucky newspaper database. And if you need any help, please call and we'll walk you through it. We have military records on Fold 3, a database, Sanborn insurance maps. We have our Northern Kentucky, GENKY database. Well, actually, it's a collection of things that have been donated to our library about Northern Kentucky and the area. Things have been scanned, records, and you can access those on our website free. And finally, the Faces and Places I spoke about is a digital collection of pictures from the Kentucky Post and what people have donated that you can easily search. And lastly is our one-on-one virtual genealogy family history sessions. We aren't able to meet in person currently, but we are providing virtual connections with patrons to help them for an hour long to knock down brick walls on your family tree, or if you're just getting started in family history, or if you just want to know what we have on our website, we gladly help you with that. Just give us a call and schedule an hour appointment. So I hope this has been a wonderful walk down memory lane and somewhat informative. Happy holidays, be safe, and stay healthy. Thanks.